We want to be able to spend our crypto and get dog food, get our t-shirts, get our underwear. Our goal is to always make sure that the user has a clear path forward, that it's a very streamlined, frictionless, seamless path from A to Z. We are excited to bring, a mobile-first product to market that's going to allow people to buy, sell, invest, spend, and earn.
Hi, Emery.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to our Istanbul studio, temporary. So you are building something called Kado, right?
Yes, sir. That's our business, Kado.
And what does Kado do?
Kado is a Web3 onboarding solution and payments infrastructure that helps onboard users to layer ones, layer twos, app chains, and basically connects fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat.
And what's the difference to exchanges like Binance?
Yeah, the biggest difference really is that when you put your crypto on an exchange like Binance, you automatically inherit counterparty risk. If the exchange decides to go down or goes bust, and your assets are stuck with them, you're obviously shit out of luck. And so with Kado, we actually take a very trusted, secure approach to onboarding to wallets and dApps directly, such that you don't have to worry about, the custodial counterparty risk. So from a debit card to your Kepler wallet and your Leap wallet, in minutes.
Mm-hmm. So how does it work? I enter my credit card and I get back tokens instantly, right?
Exactly. So you do have to go through a KYC process today. We're working towards some interesting use cases in Europe here for a no KYC onboarding flow. But for most users, that's good for low limits. Of course, when you want to start transacting higher limits, then you will, of course, want a KYC. But then effectively connect your debit card. You can connect a bank account transfer. Very soon we'll be launching SEPA, very exciting for Europe here, such that, again, you can onboard from a bank or debit card to your wallet in minutes.
And when you say SEPA, will there be a functionality where I can send money to an IBAN and it gets automatically transferred to my wallet?
Exactly. You'll be able to send funds from your account to an IBAN, and that will get credited to us, and then we'll buy the crypto, on your behalf and send that to your wallet.
Cool. Because that means I can do basically a bank native DCA, right?
Yep. Well, DCA, recurring purchases, as well as, push payments, both going to be available.
And how did that start? Was it like, how did you come to or how did the idea pop to your head?
Kado was started actually back in the Terra days. We're about 2.5 years old now. We were one of the first projects to build the first Terra hackathon. And the reality is, we saw this beautiful design for, decentralized money, and that the product, a similar product that Terra had built, Chai, that's South Korea for payments, buying, and selling real world items with stablecoins. And so we said we want to do that here, where we are from. We want to be able to spend our crypto and get dog food, get our t-shirts, get our underwear, whatever it might be. So the first product, Kado Pay, actually came out of that hackathon, where you could, again, spend your stablecoins from your digital wallet and receive items from Amazon, usually the next day. It obviously was, our first kind of pillar, utility. So being able to use your crypto in the real world and connect the Web3 and Web2, landscapes was a big step. Realized pretty quickly that the on-ramp and just access piece was another major hurdle, especially in the Terra ecosystem, especially in the Cosmos ecosystem. And so with that, worked very closely with a bunch of different partners, banks, payment providers, ecosystems like Terra, to onboard, fiat into the ecosystem directly. So we always say, the payment solution and buying stuff is how often do you really do that? How often are you actually going to want to spend your crypto? The reality is, more often than not, you want to actually get more crypto. And so it quickly turned into a much bigger part of the business, Kado Ramp, which now is really kind of taking a step back to just Kado in general.
So what was the difference between Kado Pay and Ramp?
The biggest difference was Pay would allow you to use your stablecoins to buy a product in the real world, so that you could receive those and get delivered to your home. We were connected to Amazon and kind of using, the stablecoin to fiat to purchase, those items, ship them to you. Ramp being the way to actually buy more crypto and onboard, frictionlessly to Web3.
And the Pay product is not there anymore?
The Pay product is no longer around. We deprecated it around the Terra, collapse, unfortunately. but very excited for some new payment use cases that are coming soon.
And what are some UX challenges around that you're encountered when it comes to on-ramp stuff on your users?
Yeah, I would say, when you look at some of the competition out there, there's a lot of higher fees. If you look at MoonPay, the slippage is quite high. Of course, payment methods and acceptance authorizations is another major pain point. A lot of crypto companies, either pass through payments that maybe, get declined relatively easily. We work with, again, a network of payment providers so that you have redundancy and you can use multiple, attempts to purchase your crypto. So again, like a lot of friction in both the centralized exchange onboarding to DeFi and Web3 use cases, as opposed to, again, like the other on-ramps, fiat on-ramps, who today we feel as if, we provide the most Web3 native solution, right? If you're a DeFi user, you're going to want to use Kado over, a MoonPay because it's going to give you that cohesive experience. You can connect your wallet right to the, application, which not a lot of other on-ramps do. And again, have multiple payment methods to, make it work.
And one thing I noticed is also that you guys have like a kind of simple method to log in, right? It's like, it's not a real, like a password login, it's an email login, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the reason for that?
That really is another design paradigm that other on-ramps do today. So the, one-time password authentication gives us some extra confidence that you have access to your email account when you're going to make that purchase, such that, again, it's a very safe and secure way to make sure that, Julius is accessible to his account and can, use his payment methods.
And I guess it's also pretty, like, it lowers the friction, right? Or I noticed that when using Kado, that it lowers the friction to actually use the product, because you usually you have access to your email, but like passwords, sometimes you forget them. Usually they should be in your password tool.
Or if your password gets leaked or hacked in some way, then there's obviously room for people to do the wrong thing with your account, which, we ensure every time you want to go and make a purchase, you have access to your email. And that, of course, means you also have access to your email password. And again, all of the inherent security practices that email providers bring, we benefit from.
And what other UX stuff did you pay attention to when creating Kado? I noticed that Kado has very big buttons, or not very, but fairly big for in comparison to other apps in Cosmos. So yeah, what is the thought process behind that, or what was your idea behind that?
Yeah, I mean, you'll notice everything is big blue, right? Blue and iMessage, obviously, they know the psychology behind the blue color. But I would say our goal is to always make sure that the user has a clear path forward, that it's a very streamlined, frictionless, seamless path from A to Z. So, we always try and optimize, the funnel such that you can start from the beginning and get to the end in a very cohesive way. You shouldn't have to feel like, which button do I have to click? Where do I need to go? What's the next step? Just follow the big blue button.
And then I think you announced it maybe last year that there's going to be a functionality to go directly into smart contracts, right?
Yep.
Is that already a thing? Is it live somewhere?
So we do some interactions with smart contracts today that we try to abstract away from the user. For example, a purchase of, maybe the STARS token actually takes place on the Osmosis DEX and the AMM. We source liquidity and settle the trade on the blockchain, which, not many, or not any other, fiat on-ramps do. And so because of that, we try to make it as simple as possible for the user to not even understand or know that, all this complex, swaps and such, and IBC transfers, of course, another complex piece, are happening on the back end. You should be able to go to Stargaze, say, I want to buy stars, and receive it in your wallet with, all the complexity abstracted away. Taking that a step further, we are pretty excited to be working with Skip Protocol for some really fun use cases for direct to smart contract interactions, such that you can onboard to a Quasar vault, in one click from your debit card, or a NFT purchase, again, on Stargaze. So the value prop there is, again, reducing the steps that the user needs to take, once they receive their funds. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to get the user into the action, into the end state of what they're trying to do, with all of the complexity hidden away.
And so that means in the future, I could be able to buy directly with my debit card an NFT. Right?
Exactly. Yep. Or deposit into a 50-50 LP pool, or anything that you can imagine a smart contract interaction doing.
And does it apply also to DCA stuff, or like some kind of automation? Will that possible?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a possibility. There's some DCA protocol that lets you go from a USDC balance into a DCA position.
Oh, CAG.
Yeah.
We had them on here before.
Awesome. Yeah. So basically, again, if you can imagine a smart contract, whether it's a DCA protocol or a DeFi protocol or an NFT protocol, maybe it's an escrow invoice, a Web3 platform, the possibilities are endless, right? With programmable money, our value prop is to do it as seamlessly and fast as possible for the user, that, a debit card to X.
And let's say there are developers that have ideas for that smart contract stuff. So I guess connecting, for example, a debit card or a SEPA account directly with a wallet could open up some interesting ideas, right?
Definitely.
Will there be any, will you partner up with developers, or is there any way to collect these ideas and develop them further?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, what we always say is we try to empower, the developers to have a reliable, secure fiat rail. So from that standpoint, really exciting use case that I think we were just talking to somebody this week about is, a smart contract platform that can take in, USDC and then divide it between, a DAO members for payments, so that, when a single payment is made, it can be split, to the DAO members, the holders, the users, to a, specific percentage point, right? 20% here, 40% there, 30%, 10%. And again, the ability with programmable money, is creating these new applications that aren't really possible today in the world of traditional finance. And so being able to do that again from a SEPA transfer to pay your employees for, the work that they've done that month, or if you imagine maybe a gig economy, workers, right? Being able to get their pay, directly on chain, and then also go back, right, to send it back to their IBAN. We really try to enable as many of those developer use cases as possible without taking on too much of it ourselves.
And what about the tax side of that thing? Because obviously in a perfect world, you wouldn't pay any taxes, but we do have to pay them. So that means also that there is some kind of documentation and maybe even some invoicing needed. So right now, I think you make it really easy to download your transaction history, right?
Yep.
It's like one button, I think. And you press that and you have it. Pretty nice.
You have a CSV, easily importable to, tax platforms like Coinly and such. So we try and make it as simple as possible so that the user has all the tools they need. Of course, we don't file taxes on behalf of users, but we give you the tools to, take that information, put it where it needs to go.
But when that then develops further and you're able to pay DAO members or something, do you think there's something needed to document stuff like this too, smart contract interactions or something? Because suddenly there's going money away from a bank account and then something happens with that. How do you solve that?
Yeah, so I would say there's actually a lot of development going on in the tax crypto landscape, especially in Cosmos. It's much needed these days with IBC and different versions of tokens and the complexity around that. So we today have not engaged in sort of offering the tax service product, but I'd say it's something that we do get questions about. What's the best way to do this? Again, going back to, downloading your transaction history, taking that to, a proper accounting crypto platform is probably the first best step.
In Sunny's talk, I saw that there's could be a Kado credit card to not go only into Cosmos or into Web3, but also or crypto, but also back, right? Or pay right with it. So what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, we've been asked this by users of Kado once a week, at least for, the last 2+ years since Kado Pay and our inception, from spending your stable coins on the internet to, how do I go and do it in person? So tons of excitement around, the payments use cases, especially now that we have a native stable coin, USDC issued by Noble and some of the, actual infrastructure to make this stuff happen. we always say, that Cosmos has been really underserved in terms of real world use cases, for payments, remittances, things like this that maybe we take for granted with other ecosystems, that are doing and focusing on some more of the real world access and utility. That being said, presents a major opportunity for Cosmos, right, to use all of the best of the Cosmos SDK and Auth-Z and programmable features that Cosmos offers to then enable payments and these sort of use cases. So with that, very excited to announce we're going to be launching a debit card, hopefully in partnership with Visa, so that we can enable users. Going to start in Europe. That'll be the first place that folks will get access, but there'll be a wait list and there'll be a way to sign up for you to start spending your crypto as well.
And what crypto would I then spend if I have I have my normal Cosmos wallet and I have my assets on 10, 12, 15, 50 different chains. How am I going to choose where my debit card grabs the tokens from?
The tokens from. Yep. We're going to start with, a few chains only at the beginning. Obviously, a little bit easier to chew on to start. But with that, we do hope to bring this to as many Cosmos assets as possible. If you think of a centralized exchange where you can almost spend any token that the exchange offers, the same will be relative to Cosmos and Kado. So you'll be able to set up a allowance. You'll be able to give Kado permission to pull your tokens. If you think of a debit card limit, of 200 Osmo, 500 Osmo, 1,000 Osmo, you'll be able to give us the ability to take that from your account. And then when you go and swipe your debit card, that will just be a seamless, pull transaction from your wallet, again, using Auth-Z, and be able to, complete that transaction.
That's cool.
Yeah. All self-custodial. That's a pretty big narrative these days. If anyone's following Gnosis Pay and some of the work they're doing with Visa, there's a ton of excitement around, owning your assets, owning your crypto, not having the counterparty risk we mentioned with centralized exchanges, with banks, in the same way. Be in charge of your money on your terms, use it, how you please.
And after that debit card, which is already pretty cool to have, I think for most in Cosmos, what else can we expect from you guys?
So the debit card is going to be living under the Kado Pro brand, which is going to be a new frontier for us, which we're very excited about. We are excited to bring, a mobile first product to market that's going to now allow people to buy, sell, invest, spend, and earn. So being able to, again, the first part, we already kind of facilitate buying and selling crypto, swapping crypto, speculation on investment, but then also being able to spend that crypto is the next step to that. So that you can really move off, the TradFi systems. You don't, maybe you get paid and it's auto deposited into your Kado Pro account, and then you can do what you please with it, spend it, invest it, etc. Taking that a step further, we always know that there's such a need for sort of a safe, reliable earn product, right? A way to earn a stable yield. We're very excited to be working with a few different partners in that. But if anyone's following the OnFidos of the world, the folks that are, turning treasury bills to on-chain, capital efficient collateral, we're really excited to be able to soon, offer a safe yield product in a, decentralized self-custodial way that then hopefully you can take and go and now use in again, a capital efficient way to, now go and do more in DeFi.
And you call it Kado Pro, but is it actually for pros, or what target group are you aiming at with that product?
Yeah, I think the main initial audience is going to be Cosmos users like you and me who want to live in crypto, right? Who want to have a reliable way to access and play around in DeFi. The goal really is to go from this Web3 native solution to a more Web 2.5 where anybody can feel comfortable accessing this. As we're sitting here in Turkey and, high inflation rates, there's a huge demand to get access to stable coins. And I think it's a great time given, Noble USDC and the launch there to bring that value back to Cosmos, right? To create those payments and remittance use cases that, again, other ecosystems may be doing today that Cosmos needs to really take to the next level, can take to the next level with, again, all of the programmable, money features.
And do you think it makes sense to, when there is a Kado Pro, to also have Kado for kids or something. Not for kids maybe, but Kado for normies. Something to bring something to the table that has the same benefits, like when it comes to yield or usability, but hides the crypto stuff out of it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, from our earliest discussions, right, of trying to abstract away a lot of the complexity with smart contracts and, what's happening behind the scenes. You may want to just go and borrow some cash, right, from, again, a app chain that provides that feature, Mars Protocol, Thorchain, lending. Imagine abstracting that away so that the user says, I can deposit $100 and get 50 back and now go and buy my groceries, right? So I'd say in that sense, we do want to get it move from pro to normies, and that's going to be the next evolution.
Cool. How does it actually work to set up such a business? I guess you didn't start like this and wake up and you knew what to do, how to build an on-ramp, right? Because there's a lot of regulatory stuff. How did you guys navigate that?
Yeah, it was knocking on a lot of doors, from our earliest days. Before this hackathon took place, I was calling banks and calling, different providers, vendors, payment people to, learn more and see how we could make this, happen. I think, especially in crypto, having a will and a force takes you, as far as you want to go with it. So, I always joke, half my brain is working on crypto regulation and the other half is working on DeFi and Web3 use cases. And so, with that, we try and provide the best payments, the best experience, the best, solutions and frictionless onboarding so that, it might not even feel like you're using Kado. It might not even feel like you're interacting with DeFi. At the end of the day, getting access to the digital dollar from avoiding, inflation on the lira is something that I think, is super normie friendly that, we need to all figure out together.
My last final question. Is it called, or is it pronounced Kado or Kado?
Kado, like avocado. The translation actually is from Japanese to gateway. So from our earliest days, we've always been trying to build the Web 2 to Web 3 gateway. And of course, hopefully a gateway is you can go in and you can go back out. So again, I think building trust, takes time, especially in the sort of offering and solution that we provide. So tell your friends, tell your family, and hopefully, we can all go buy $10 worth of Atom, and it'll do well for everyone.
Cool. I'm excited to see what's coming, what you guys have planned in the future. Thanks for updating us.
Definitely.
And giving us an intro into the world of Kado. Yeah, I would love to have you on when there's something new to talk about.
Definitely.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, likewise. Can't wait till we get under the purple light next time. So
cool.
Awesome.